Hey guys and gals, Alex here talking about lyrics in my little studio, and today I'll be talking about the fourth song of our last EP in a universe called Alter Memory. So first off, I gotta get a little disclaimer out of the way, which is that this song could be considered political. We're not a political band per se, and I don't really like to write any sort of political lyrics because I don't want to tell people what they have to think. Rather, I like to think to get people to think for themselves and see that there's myriads of ways to gather information and have a very well-formed opinion. And this song is basically a call to do exactly that. And also it's me venting and letting a little bit steam off about our current socio-political situation that we're in. I think the basic idea derived from me seeing over the last probably 15 years how the polarization on the margins of the political extremes have been growing and growing in our society. It's not too much about how this actually came to be, but rather it's an impartial observation of the current status quo that we're living in. So, for example, I talk about people that have fact-resistant beliefs, as in that they are so deep down the rabbit hole in their ideology that they're not really there anymore if you try to give them facts. The same occurs with people that are stuck in an echo chamber, so they only try to consume news that reaffirms their already formed convictions. And this is something that is very detrimental to the political discourse in Germany as in the United States, which is basically the only two countries that I really can follow the news because I speak fluent English and fluent German, so I wouldn't know exactly how these things are going down in Poland or in Hungary, for example. But there seems to be a very omnipresent, ubiquitous problem with all of this. And in the song, I try to get people to actually listen to others, as in that there has to be a discussion and a consensus in order to politically make something worthwhile and get people to actually engage with one another instead of just getting polarized to the point where somebody on the one end of the spectrum and somebody on the other end can't really talk with one another anymore. And at some point in time we thought it might be interesting to put a speech sample in there, and Tristan came up with an old idea that I had for for a couple of years now, ever since I saw The Great Dictator by Charlie Chaplin, which was to use the speech that ultimately also ended up in Alter Memory from that particular movie. And whilst the lyrics are actually calling for people to use their brains and base their convictions not so much on emotions but rather on knowledge, the idea behind the speech is rather that you have to think with your heart. And so there's a little bit of contradiction in there, which I found was very thought-provoking and would open up the interpretive frame of the lyrics that I wrote. So after Tristan put that in, I was first a little bit like, this kind of undermines the point I wanted to make. But on the other hand, it might be interesting for people and could be productive. So we just let it in there and marinate it for a little bit, and then after a while we came back to the song and said, okay, we're just going to leave this in here because it somehow seems to be fitting quite well as a counterpoint to my personal ideas, which I try to convey in this song. So if you think this is something worthwhile discussing, you could easily drop a comment down below, which would be much appreciated. I will be in the comments as much as I can, depending on how much time I have. And also, if you enjoyed this one, you can take a look at the other three Lyrical Spotlights that I've recorded for the other songs of the EP in a Universe. And with that, I'm leaving you now, and hopefully I'll see you soon on some other venture for more music. I guess that's it. Take care. Bye-bye.